Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we will dissect the latest controversy in the story of Kenobi's Disney Plus series. We will analyze all of the sources covering the story, piece by piece, step by step. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to cut through all of the editorializing and tell you what you need to know at the end. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee.
I have spoken.
Hello there to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that the bell is completely filled in, as this is the way you will never miss a new video the second it goes live.
Do it.
So what we're going to do in today's episode is go over several reports about the Kenobi series, and Ewan Mcgregor has finally addressed some of these, so we're going to get to that as well. But we're going to take a look at several of these reports, the first one coming from Collider. It says exclusive, they were the first to break the story, that's why we're starting with them. It says Obi Wan Disney Plus series on hold as crew sent home, written by Adam Chitwood. It says, quote, last week, troubling rumors began swirling about the upcoming Disney Plus series revolving around the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor is poised to reprise his role from the Star Wars prequels in a story set 8 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. Director Deborah Chow was set to spearhead the series, and production was on pace to begin this year. These rumors hinted at potential trouble behind the scenes, and while we're hearing the show isn't cancelled, we are hearing that it's been delayed. Two independent sources with knowledge of the situation tell Collider that the Obi-Wan series has been put on hold, as the crew that had been assembled at Pinewood Studios in London were sent home. A time frame was not given, but the crew was told that the show would be down indefinitely. We're hearing that Lucasfilm president and Obi-Wan producer Kathleen Kennedy was not happy with the scripts. Sources tell us that this will most likely happen and the scripts will be reworked with the hopeful goal of reassembling this summer, but there's always the possibility that that time frame could shift. It sounds like Kathleen Kennedy would rather ensue the story being told with this series as good as it can be on the page before they roll cameras. Rather than move forward with hesitations, she's asked that they go back and rework what's on the page. This makes a lot of sense as Lucasfilm has a history with troubled productions. Recently, Rogue One was rewritten and reworked during filming, with Tony Gilroy spearheading reshoots that spanned out most of the third act, and Solo: A Star Wars Story directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller notably exited the film in the middle of production, with Ron Howard coming in to take over. This Obi-Wan delay also comes on the heels of a chilly reception for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, the third and final film in Lucasfilm's new sequel trilogy. Not only has the concluding chapter in the Star Wars trilogy earned the worst critical reception among any Star Wars movie thus far, critics know nothing, we're just going to disregard that completely, it's on pace to be the lowest grossing film in this new trilogy, although to be fair, it's still crossing $1 billion at the box office. This is common in most three-part trilogies, so also going to disregard that. Moving forward, the Obi-Wan series actually began its life as a feature film, with Stephen Daldry was on tap to direct, but after some development, Lucasfilm decided to expand and adapt the planned story into a TV series for the Disney Plus streaming service. Lucasfilm is being tight-lipped with regards to its future film plans beyond a Kevin Feige-produced feature, a new trilogy from Rian Johnson that's still in development and has not officially been greenlit by Lucasfilm. That's all of the relevant portion of the Collider story. Again, take out most of that last bit where they're talking about the chilly reception to The Rise of Skywalker. That was mainly with critics. It scored the lowest in critics, but it scored an 86% in fan approval, which is just 5 points, I believe, behind The Force Awakens and at least double what The Last Jedi was, so we're going to disregard that completely. But moving on to The Hollywood Reporter, who then picked up the story after Collider did. It says Obi-Wan Kenobi series on hold as calls go out for new scripts, by Boris Kitt. Quote, Ewan McGregor and director Deborah Chow remain attached to the Disney Plus project. Disney Plus and Lucasfilm's Star Wars series centered on Obi-Wan Kenobi has been put on hold as the companies attempt a retooling, multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. The effort, in which Ewan McGregor is set to reprise his role of the famed Jedi Knight, was in throes of pre-production. The project had writer and a director Deborah Chow, who became the first ever female Star Wars director thanks to her work on Disney Plus's series The Mandalorian. Sources say that the show was even screening test actors opposite Ewan McGregor. I don't believe that at all. Moving on though. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that the scripts, only 2 were written, and story became an issue, and that the entire package has been jettisoned. Lucasfilm is now on the hunt for a new writer to pen the series. At the same time, sources say the project is being reconfigured from 6 episodes to 4. It is unclear when the show will ramp up again, although insiders stress that Ewan McGregor remains attached to Star Wars and Deborah Chow remains to direct. Disney had no comment. The development follows social media rumors a week ago that the series was cancelled. Those posts proved premature, but did expose the project was facing problems. So another break, I covered that story completely. I waited 24 hours until everything was in, and so I have a whole video about that if you want to go see all of that hoopla and what happened there. I cover that in pretty good detail over on the channel. I'll link to that in the description and card up here now. It is unclear why scripts became an issue so late in the process. One source said the Kenobi story trod similar ground as The Mandalorian, seeing the Jedi Master lending a protective hand to a young Luke and possibly even a young Leia, perhaps mirroring how the Mandalorian took Baby Yoda under his protective custody. Disney had never unveiled an expected release date for the Obi-Wan series. Hours after the news broke, IGN caught McGregor at an event, and he told the outlet he did not expect the release of the series would be delayed, but noting filming would shift from this summer to January 2021. Ewan, quote, "It's just slid to next year, that's all. The scripts were really good. Now that episode 9 came out and everyone at Lucasfilm has got more time to spend on writing, they felt they wanted more time to write the episodes." Last August, Ewan McGregor surprised Star Wars fans by walking out on stage at D23 to confirm that he would be playing Obi-Wan once more. The actor had flirted for years with a return to the character after last playing in 2005's Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. So that was all of the things. That one did have a Ewan comment in it, and we have another article. This happened several hours after The Hollywood Reporter and the Collider article, where Ewan McGregor caught wind of all of this and did speak out on this. This article comes to us from GameSpot's James O'Connor. Ewan McGregor addresses Obi-Wan shooting delays, so we're continuing to venture further into this story. Earlier reports emerged, he's referring to the Collider and the Hollywood Reporter, ones that we just went through, that the Obi Wan Disney Plus series announced last August was running into problems. Insiders close to the project said that the series was on an indefinite hold and the crew was being sent home. Now, the series star has dismissed the rumors that this had anything to do with the show's quality. The Disney Plus series will see Ewan McGregor return to the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was previously played in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. GameSpot managed to catch up with Ewan McGregor at the event promoting the upcoming Birds of Prey film, which he stars in as a bad guy, aka Black Mask. Naturally, we asked him about what's happening with the Obi-Wan series, and he denied that anyone was unhappy with the scripts. Quote, "We just pushed to the beginning of next year. The scripts were really good, and I have seen 90% of the writing. These are all BS about creative differences and all that stuff. None of it's true. None of it's true. They just pushed the dates. They had more time to read the stuff that had been written after episode 9, and they felt like they wanted to do more work on it. Not nearly as dramatic as it sounds online." Ewan says they'll start shooting in January 2021, and they don't want to move the release date, which has not been officially announced, but is under wraps under Lucasfilm. "It gives them more time to write, make the scripts even better," says Ewan. Okay, so Ewan has officially debunked all of this craziness once again, as I'm not surprised at all, and the reason we went through all of this rather than me starting with this is that way we could get to this whole, the full picture, because I feel like that's important. Context is very important, especially with what Ewan says. To understand what he's talking about, we have to first understand what is being said. And so, Ewan McGregor, with his comments, IGN then went and they also got an article that they originally posted on January 23rd, but has now been updated January 24th, so today, right after midnight, about 1 a.m. So we're going to keep going with the even more updated version of this story. This one comes from IGN's Adam Bankhurst. Quote, "Obi-Wan Kenobi series delay won't change release date," says Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor has confirmed to IGN that despite the Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi series being put on hold, its not currently public release date has not been changed. Ewan McGregor spoke to IGN, pointing out that these kinds of production delays are fairly common, but it shouldn't impact when fans around the galaxy will see the Obi-Wan Kenobi series debut on Disney Plus. quote, "It's just slid next year. The scripts were really good. I think now that episode 9 came out and everyone at Lucasfilms got more time to spend on the writing, they felt like they wanted more time to spend on the writing for this show. I've read about 80-90% of what they've written so far, and it's really, really good. Instead of shooting this August, they just want to start shooting in January. That's all. Nothing more dramatic than that. It often happens in projects. They just wanted to push it to next year. It will have the same release date. I don't think it will affect the release date. They're still shooting towards having the film show release when it's going to be originally." Disney Plus's Obi-Wan Kenobi series was, according to multiple reports, put on hold because Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy was not happy with the current scripts. The project was put on an indefinite hold, and now the pre-production crew has reportedly assembled at Pinewood Studios was sent home. The Hollywood Reporter that the Kenobi series had only 2 scripts written so far, which we just covered, and that despite Kathleen Kennedy saying the show scripts were completed when the Kenobi series was announced at D23 last summer. It was also reported that Lucasfilm was trying to reconfigure Obi-Wan's 6 episodes into 4 as part of the redevelopment process, although when asked about the episode order being cut, Ewan Mcgregor says, "I haven't heard that." The new series was set to take place 8 years following the events of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Even though this story has found its home as a Disney Plus show, it was originally set to be a movie. And then they talk about the same thing about it was going to be a movie. Okay, but here's the thing. The important takeaway from all of this, the only important thing now, having all of the context, is knowing that everything is fine and they're just pushing it back. So, to put it in the simple terms, without all of the media editorializing, here is what we have. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney Plus with an unofficial release date. We all knew that, so that's nothing new. Here's what's changed, and here's what really doesn't matter at all. So, the crew was disassembled from Pinewood Studios. Ewan McGregor just said it's because they're going to start shooting in January and they just want to touch up the script. Ewan has read the script. He says he's read 80-90% of it and that it's really, really good. And Ewan McGregor wouldn't be signing on to a project he didn't approve of, especially knowing how important the role of Obi-Wan is to him and to the fans. So, is there cause for concern? No, there is no cause for concern. Also, the fact that it was going to be a movie, no one cares about that anymore. We know it's going to be a series. Ewan McGregor just debunked the fact that it's going from 4 to 6 episodes or vice versa. He is still saying that it's not 4 episodes, it's still 6 episodes. So cutting through all of the fluff, that is all you need to know. The series is still set to release whenever the Lucasfilm under wraps date is set to release it. Ewan McGregor is still attached to the project. He's doing this after Birds of Prey, so he's got 6 months off now to prep, do whatever he has to do. I'm sure the scripts were written. No one has verified whether Kathleen Kennedy is actually unhappy with them, although that wouldn't surprise me. But from what we know with Ewan, all we know is that series is being pushed to start filming in January rather than in the summer. No big deal. Ewan just said that's very common. So, is there cause to be alarmed? No. All you need to know is that we're still getting the Ewan McGregor series, and we're still going to get the 6 episodes that we were originally intent on. It's still going to be set 8 years after Revenge of the Sith, and Ewan McGregor is still excited to do it, having read 80-90% of it, saying it's really good. That is what you need to know. Okay, we went through the whole thing. I hope you found this helpful. The reason I go through everything, as I just said, is to make sure we all have the context, because context is extremely important when talking about rumors, and especially with things that we don't have film for. Like things with The Rise of Skywalker, we don't need context as much because we can just go and watch the movie. Same thing with The Last Jedi or any other Star Wars piece of content right now. The reason we need the content is because it's not out yet. So context is very important. Alright, that wraps things up for me here in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.